This clip is of Missouri State Senator Elaine Gannon basically interrogating a trans teenager named Avery Jackson with really invasive questions about their body. I'm not sure, is Avery a girl or a boy? I don't know. But in terms of how they identify girl, about her body. So let's just, it's pretty uncomfortable. Just take a look.
You're in the ladies' room and then you realize somebody else is in there doesn't have has a male body instead of a female's body. I mean, it just causes some issues there.
No, it doesn't. You should let people go to the bathroom. No one's there. You've seen this thing.
Well, they probably don't realize.
Yeah, exactly.
That's because you have those long hair and that's been,
right.
You're going to go through the procedure.
You think we're going around forcing our genitalia in people's face? We're trying to go to the bathroom, and what you want to do is not let people do that? Your whole argument here is the fact that you don't want people to use a bathroom. No one is looking at the genitals.
I was seriously just curious.
You're asking for on public record about genitals, and if people would see that, how would anyone know? We have been coming for 7 years trying to help people understand, and I know this is off topic and it didn't mean anything by it, but
okay, pause it. I'm sorry. So, I mean, first of all, then the way she's basically rolling her eyes and falling back in her chair as if, I mean, this girl's being ridiculous.
What's known as Karen mode.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's slipping into that. But the concept that you would ask a 14-year-old girl about her genitals in this very public way is so ridiculous. But it's also so revealing about how many of these conservatives, like their psychology, they're so sexually repressed themselves that they find like this stuff in their world fascinating and almost, I don't want to say titillating, but they're inappropriate because they have a very tentative connection or understanding of their own sexuality, and so they're projecting constantly with these questions.
We should say the woman who is saying who's sitting next to Avery is Avery's mom, Debbie Jackson, and she's. You should go over and you can find her at _Debbie Jackson. And well, let's finish the other video and then we can go to that.
But she has like a explainer of that dispels some myths about
what happened
is
with her child, and how she was situated when this happened.
Yeah, her daughter who transitioned from male to female when she was 4 years old.
I know this is off topic and it didn't mean anything by it, but that's the point. Kids aren't going around exposing themselves. Kids are wanting to play sports with their friends. That's what this bill is. And getting wrapped up in genitals in bathrooms gets us so far away from that, and it dehumanizes our children. My child is so much more than genitals. And that's what I need you to see. That's what every family who has come in here year after year is begging you, demanding that you see. I don't know what your genitals are. I have not made an assumption, and I'm not willing to ask that question because it's highly inappropriate.
It's especially appropriate to ask it of a 14-year-old child.
It's just so. It shows that they're so blinded by their, like you say, like their own ignorance or titillation or fascination, that it really is about ignorance. Like, is it really more comforting for you as a state lawmaker, or anybody for that matter, to know what the genitals are of the person in a closed stall
next to you? Like,
is it really, like, is that the way that you're going to get some sense of security? If there are testicles in the stall next to me, or if there is a vagina in the stall next to me, one of those two things will determine how comfortable I am.
Well, it determines, how quickly your stream is going to come. I'm sorry.
Honestly, it's just so
so silly,
so bizarre. Just play the first minute of Debbie Jackson. This is let's play the first minute of this video.
I'm the mom of a little girl called AJ, who was recently profiled in the Kansas City Star. As surprised as I was to find my family in the paper, I'm also incredibly proud. My daughter is 6 years old. She transitioned, which means she changed her outward appearance from male to female and started living full-time as her true gender when she was 4. Until that point, she was quite a rough and tumble little boy with a buzz cut and a shark tooth necklace. But when she was 3, she asked her dad and I if we could buy her a princess dress. We didn't buy the dress. We thought she might be going through a stage of liking bright or sparkly things and didn't want to waste money on something she would grow bored of in a week. But she kept asking, and I found out that she had a favorite princess dress she wore at daycare. What the heck, we thought, and we took her to the store to pick one out. Things didn't stop there. Over the next few months, she started to wear that dress every single minute that she was at home. And then she asked for more. Dresses, nightgowns, headbands, sparkly pink shoes, and eventually even girls' underwear. We allowed some of those things, but we drew the line at the undies. There were just some things we weren't comfortable with during this phase. But then I noticed her pushing down on her genitals a lot, and I asked her what was wrong. Not having those parts, I assumed she might have a rash and was itchy, but her answer shocked me. She said that they bothered her and were in the way. She wanted them gone. Thank God for Google, because I immediately jumped on the computer and typed in a search. 4-year-old boy says genitals should be gone. What came back was a very short list of results, but they all pointed to one thing. My child might be transgender. I had never even heard the word transgender before and really didn't know what to think. We made an appointment with our pediatrician. She recommended a child psychologist. But before we could even get an appointment, my daughter, then my 4-year-old son, said these words to me. Mom, you know I'm really a girl, right? I'm a girl on the inside. That moment changed my life. In the following months, she became more insistent. We saw the psychologist and an endocrinologist to make sure there wasn't a hidden medical issue. She became more determined to express herself by wearing those pink sparkly shoes to daycare. She wanted to go out for ice cream in a fairy dress and wings. Eventually, we couldn't hold her back. She was showing signs of depression and refused to leave the house dressed as a boy. The day I let her go to school in girl clothes, she was happier than I had seen in a very long time. The kids were great, and the teachers were awesome. But then the kids went home and told their parents, and they weren't so great after that. Adult bigotry had influenced them. We lost most of our friends and some of our family. We basically went into hiding for about a year while my daughter grew out her hair to look like the girl that she is. When we emerged again, it was with a very happy and confident daughter. When I tell our daughter's story, I hear the same uninformed comments over and over again, so I'd like to address a few of those now. 1, we are liberals pushing a gay agenda. Nope, sorry, I'm a conservative Southern Baptist Republican from Alabama. 2, we, or at least I, because they always blame the mom, wanted a girl, so we turned our child into one. Again, no, I desperately wanted boys. The idea of raising a girl in today's world scares me to death. I'd much rather be responsible for raising a good boy who knows how to treat girls well than to be responsible for raising a girl who might only be interested in dating bad boys. 3, kids have no idea what they want or who they are. My kid wants to be a dog. Should I let him? That's up to you, but I wouldn't. There's a profound difference between wanting to be something in imaginary play and in declaring who you are insistently, consistently, and persistently. Those are the 3 markers that set transgender children apart, and my daughter displayed all of them. 4, kids shouldn't have to learn about sex at such a young age. Well, I agree, so it's a good thing that being transgender has nothing to do with sex. Gender identity is strictly how a person views him or herself on the inside, and it is completely separate from who we are attracted to. 5, transgender people are perverts and shouldn't be in the bathroom with normal people. I don't know what you go into the bathroom to do, but I know what my daughter goes in there for, and it isn't to look around. It's to go into a stall, lock the door, and pee where no one else can see her. Number 6, God hates transgender people. They are sinners and going to hell. My God taught us to love one another. Jesus sought out those who others rejected. Some people choose to embrace biblical verses that appear to say transgender people are being wrong. I choose to focus on verses like 1 Samuel 16:7, which says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not consider his appearance or his height, for I have rejected him. The Lord does not look at the things people look at. People look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." My daughter is a girl in her heart. She knows it. God knows it. And that's good enough for me.
So I guess she delivered that about 8 years ago, I think, or so. And she is, I guess, has an outfit called Gender Inc. I'm not sure. I don't know really much about her. I just somehow on Twitter somehow got to that speech and that moment where she's with her daughter, and a state lawmaker wants to know, what genitals her daughter has.
I'm just curious.
Yeah, and the smug attitude when she leans back in her chair like that, and then watch that speech, right? It's just crazy to me. And Republicans say that the left is the one that's giving safe harbor to pedophiles. I mean, you're the one questioning a 14-year-old about their genitals.
Republicans want to have
that's traumatizing.
Yeah, Republicans want to have your child's genitals inspected before they go play soccer or basketball.
Yep.